This is not a good sign. Welcome everyone to Thirlmere's Diaries. And what we've got here is the section of the 591, the A591 that goes from Thirlmere Reservoir, which is the big body of water to my right, down to Grasmere. And this is just commonly known there as the Gap. And the Gap was the last part of the puzzle. This was the last segment that needed to be repaired after Storm Desmond. And what they've done is they've basically resurfaced the whole road for about 2 miles. Now the damaged section on appearance only looked like the stretch for about 100 metres or 50 metres. The flooding, it did take out the whole road. It was absolutely impassable. It was closed for 6 months, and this is a real bugger because the A591 is at the backbone of the Lake District. It goes all the way from Kendal right the way up to Keswick and beyond. So if this road is closed, the only other options are to go on the M6 and to go all the way up to Junction 40 at Penrith and go down the A66 and get to Keswick that way. But they've done it now. It's all repaired, it's all open, and I see signs for Gatso cameras and for 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. Now, I'm not entirely sure why either of those are necessary, because it was never a high-risk road. It was national speed limit. It's single carriageway, as you can see. It doesn't get a lot of traffic, even though it is an important road. So to give it a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit, I don't know. The road wasn't closed because of traffic congestion, because of collisions, because of accidents, because of none of this. It was closed because it flooded. And whether it's 40 or 60 or whatever, I'm sure it'll flood again. They've made some changes. You can see on the left-hand side, just here, on the pavement, or rather on the curb, they've got these little V indentations. Now I can only assume that's because when the heavy rainfall does come and it comes down from these fells up here, it comes onto the road. It used to collect along this near side, and there you've got these V indentations. I'm presuming that's to let the water run across the road because water across the whole road is so much better than water just on part of the road. Why they never did culverts along the edge so it could run underneath it, I'll never know, but their choice, not mine. So here we are, A591, 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. The reservoir, it doesn't look so low, but it's only the start of summer. This is the reservoir that feeds all of Cumbria and most of Manchester actually. So it's a fairly heavily used body of water, and that will go down as the summer goes on. And what are you braking for? Now, while this road was closed, they did have a service road. It was only for buses. Once they realised how important the road was and how closing it was a huge inconvenience, they opened up a service road just for the stagecoach to go from Keswick down to Grasmere. And they needed it for a couple of reasons. They needed it for the school run, because obviously the children who live south of the road closure who went to school in the north, and also just to give them a fingertip hold on hanging on to business. When this road was closed, Grasmere was a virtual cul-de-sac, and it suffered lack of business through February bank holiday, through Easter. Yeah, that's the service road up there. And so they try to keep things moving in between Grasmere and Keswick to help the businesses out a little. It was a nice idea, but it's a little too late, I think it was. Now just about here we see this nice new walling. This was basically where the road had collapsed. It had washed away the tarmac to over halfway across the hazard line. It was all because of this river to my left. I don't think you can see it. And this fell, and the waterfalls that came down here. Basically there you go, levers. Basically the water came down, and it was a tremendous amount of water. It really was. And rather than picking natural flow and having a culvert going underneath the road there as well, they built a wall and they let the river run alongside the road. Well, sooner or later the cumulative effect of all that water running down over the years, that's got too much for it. It washed the retaining wall away, and then you have a rather soft peat underneath, and that didn't last very long at all. And bizarrely, again, it's not my choice, but this is what the council have decided. When they rebuilt the road, again, they have not built a culvert to go under the road. You want to give water a free-flowing exit out. You don't want to resist it in any way. You don't want to kind of hamper it or tamper it down. And this seems to be what they've done. They've built another retaining wall, and so the water is going to flow along that wall again. And sorry about that, just needed a little bit of concentration. Yeah, so they've built another retaining wall, and that retaining wall is going to get eroded over the years again and again, and whatever it may be, I'm sure it's going to have to be rebuilt again. But for now the road's open, and that really means that we've got the Lake District back to how it was. Last year a couple of closures about the place, minor roads, sea roads, you know, you don't even come across sea roads where it's just not commercially viable for the council to attend them straight away. And then there's a few bridges which will be replaced, but it's going to take a number of years, Pawley Bridge being one of them, but it's got a temporary bridge for the time being. So yeah, here we are, first week of June, and everything's pretty much back to normal. And no worse for that as well. So we are coming into Grasmere, and I think I'll probably leave it there. So have a good day everyone, and I'll speak to you all soon.